Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil and today we are going to be talking about how the automatic feeders work, or the automatic feeder works. So you can see there, calves are in, working away. I suppose one of the first things I may mention is this station isn't working at the minute. We just have that thrown in there just to stop them going into it. If I take this off, we have that solenoid, or this box is getting power constantly, and it's anytime it circulates milk it ends up blowing it out of it, because that should only turn on when it's about to feed calves. So we're not sure why that is, but after I've made this video I have to go and change that station and put in one of our other stations from the other feeder. This should be fine. So anyways, we'll get to it. So the calves are feeding away, they work away there themselves. So we'll start off over here with this machine. So I suppose we'll start off on the computer. So the feeder is an Urban Calf Mom. This is its 4th season rearing calves. First season they've reared it's reared 150 every year. The first season it was only turned off for about a month. We reared calves throughout the year, and then from every season after that it got turned off in about May or June when we'd finished. So this is where I'm a bit concerned. You might not be able to see the screen, so I just have to hold this quite well. I know the last time I did it didn't work very well, but anyways, so this is my screen. So I have all my buttons here with different functions on them, and my keypad, and look, it's all different buttons. New feeder is a lot more user friendly, and I'd very much like to get one. So I would very much like to get one. It's just there's just that many improvements made compared to this machine. It's a holy terror. But anyways, we look at, so when I come in, you can see these two lights here. A red light, you see a red light, it means that you have a problem, whether it be there was no water, or there was a float stuck, or it didn't finish its rinsing cycle. If there's any problem at all, that red light flashes. The orange light is nearly on all the time. That's to tell you that there's calves that need to drink, even though I never really pay much attention to that, because I have my own way of checking to see whether calves need to be fed or not. Because if you consistently mollycoddle them calves, that you just keep putting them in, you give them a bad habit, and you will spend every morning and evening putting in calves. So it's just to try and get the balance right when trying to do the job. So anyways, I can go click this button, and then it brings up, I don't know how well you can see that there, it brings up the calf number, the daily amount, so how much he has to drink for the day, how much has left to drink for the day. And this calf is one of the new calves in the training pen there. So I will go to one of the older calves. So now I might just see, is there one there that didn't drink all? Yeah. So now we look at this calf. So this is calf 700. So he's 6 days on the feeder. His daily amount is 5.2 litres. How much he's left to drink for the day is 3.7. I know it says kg, but it's litres. How much he left, so yesterday he didn't drink 0.8 of a litre of his daily allowance, and aborted once. That means he went into the feeder, he drank a bit, and he left again before finishing. And when I scroll through the calves there, you can see they all change, but nearly all our calves are feeding very well. Now these are the new calves that we put on today. So some of them had went in themselves last night and drank, some of them hadn't. I've them all put through the feeder, so they're okay. But they're all pretty much feeding very well. We're very happy with how they are doing at the minute. You can see now, this is looking at all the calves. So you can see so the first one, that 01, that's the groups. So I can put, I don't know how many groups, but I can put different groups of calves on this. So I could put, let's say if I had heifers and bulls, or I had calves I wanted to give more milk to, or milk powder, or just want them on a different feed curve, I can change the groups. And then the feeder knows what group the calf is in, and then knows that when that calf walks in, that it needs, whether it be extra powder put in the mixing bowl, or whether it needs extra milk or less milk. Literally everything you can do. I could have a pen like that, all the calves together, and I could have 3 different feeding groups. I could say I want to feed my jerseys a bit more to get them to see if I could get them to come on a bit. Maybe I want to feed my Frisian's a bit less, or maybe I have a batch of calves that are 4 weeks old or 3 weeks old, and I think they don't need as much, and I could put them all on separate groups, and you could have a Jersey walk in, he's going to get fed what he's supposed to get, and then the Frisian walks in and he's going to get a completely different feed, but still the feeder does it all. It's just amazing how much messing or playing you can do with this. But anyways, so the daily amount, it has the 51 calves is 251 litres to drink. The present rest is 189 litres is being left to drink, and then there was 23 litres not drank, and that was primarily because them calves there, some of them had walked in and only drank a bit and not fully finished. But that's really that. And then also here, so you can see when it was installed, and now I think there should be a 1 in front of that. I think it doesn't count past the 100,000s of litres, because last year this feeder was on 90 something thousand and it's on 47,344, so I'm pretty sure there's a 1 in front of that, and that's the amount of milk that this feeder has put out since we have got it. Puts out a fair sup of milk on full tilt with 150 odd calves. It's just under 1,000 litres a day. With the other feeder that was on 164 calves last year, it was over 1,000 litres of milk a day on full tilt. So the calves, where am I going now? No, I go back to what I was on. So set up. So the calves are on a feed curve. So just how well can you see that there? So you can kind of see the feed set up 1, 2, 3, 4 and all of that. Oh, what am I doing? Wrong one. So that's it has a curve, so the calves all come in, they start off on day 1 on 4 kilos, and then by the time they get to day 14 it builds them from 4 litres to 6 litres of milk. So it builds them up gradually. That's why you've seen some of the calves there at 5.2 litres, and then to day 44, from day 14 to 44, so 30 days, they get 6 litres of milk every day. And then from day 44 to day 64, we bring them to 0. So in the space of 20 days, they come off milk. So it weans them gradually. Now I've changed the last 3 seasons of working this. It's been a gradual decrease from 6 litres down and down and down. But I was talking to a man that was saying trials that they had run, they found that the calves did better when they had a sudden drop in milk, because the calves all of a sudden got hungry and then they switched on to eating more meal and eating more fibre, whereas when they got a gradual decrease they weren't as inclined to switch over. So that's one of the things I'm going to play with. I'll do it with this feeder, and when we get the other feeder set up I'll leave it on the old setup, and if this feeder works out well, because we'll fill this one first and then fill the other one. So yeah, that's really it. Other things I can look at then on the calves, I can look at the average time spent drinking. So you can see it takes about 3 minutes and 45 seconds is the average for the last 7 days for each calf to feed. Yesterday what the average time was, the deviation between the two, and the last visit of the last calf, and I can look it up. There's a world of information on this, an absolute world of information. I can also look up how much each calf has drank, so I can see, where is it now? There it is. So I can see that 694, that's one of the calves that I have to name, is he's consumed 30 litres so far. When he started, what else can I see? I can see how long since, so I can see his last feeding, so when he went in last, the interval between his last feeding, so that feeding and the previous one, the date when he last consumed, and how much he consumed. It holds a world of information. One of the things I did do on my statistics last year, when I was looking at the calves, I recorded all the amount of milk that all the different calves had drank, and I put it down, broke it down into farms and the different breeds, and I found the variation was no more than about 5 litres across the board. So I didn't put it in. There was no variation across breed or farms, literally none, which I was quite surprised about. I was quite sure that there would have been some deviation between the breeds, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. So that's how the computer works, which it's just an absolutely amazing machine. All that it can do on the computer in terms of feeding, and everything is changeable. I can change the amount of powder, rate of powder to milk or water. I can change Oh, just literally everything on that is programmable. Everything you can think about is programmable. But anyways, this is the hopper. So this has an extension. You can see that bit there to there. Because this is a 4-station feeder, it has the extension so it can hold 2 bags. So we'll open up its innards. So that's the power switch there. We have a key then for this. This opens up to our inside. So we have our instruction manual there. That's the brains of the beast is in there. We also have our notebook. So I keep a book for keeping the records of everything. So I have it for when all the different calves come in. And we actually had one calf sick last night. One of the calves to be named 699. He had a pain. He was laying out flat and he was doing a bit of kicking and get up and kick and run and fall down and kick. So I gave him a bit of liquid paraffin and he seems to be okay now. Whatever it was, I'm not too sure what the problem was, but it seems to have gone now anyways. So we have the book then that keeps all records of everything that gets done. However, 2, so that's where the water gets heated. That is our bin. And it feeds out there through that. We'll look at that in a second. And then we have our 2 detergents for cleaning. So we have acidic detergent and we have an alkaline detergent, one to cancel out the other. We also have equipment there for calibrating it. So it washes itself twice a day, so every 12 hours it washes itself at 2 AM and 2 PM. And it takes roughly 40 minutes to wash itself, so it doesn't do anything for a while. So then this is the mixing bowl. So I'll just try and get that left down. So powder comes in there, that fills with water. You can kind of see the level on that, so that's how the feeder knows how much is in it. You have your main water pipe there, and you have your 2 acid pipes there, and that's what that does. And also, if you're wondering, there's these 2 holes here. You can buy this feeder with that many different extras. It's a holy terror. They're for 2 additive hoppers, so you can have an additive if you are feeding the seaweed, which I'm waiting on getting for the calves that haven't got it yet, but for the seaweed, if you wanted to apply it properly and be able to program it all into it, you can do that, and for electrolytes and things like that. But we're just waiting to get the seaweed there. Now, good stuff. We used it last year and got on very well with it on calves reared on buckets, and we're putting all the calves on it this year. Sea-lac, good calf health, I think it is. I can't just remember what the name of it is, but it's milled seaweed, and did ferocious job in the calves last year. Very little trouble with any health problems, pneumonias, anything like that. The calves did very well, so they did while they were on milk. So I want to see, I'll put them on these and then record and see, can we see a reduction in our mortality and our sickness rates, because their mortality rate and the other feeder wasn't too bad last year, but the sickness rates on both feeders were quite high. But anyways then, so the mixing bowl holds a litre of milk, and you can see all the pipes go in underneath. Now this pipe here is an outlet pipe, so if I wanted to take some milk out of that to feed a calf, I had a calf that needed stomach tubing or wasn't right or that, I can push this there and it lets out milk out there, so I can feed. That is also, when it washes itself, it throws out all the washings out there. That's why that's there, and the full rinse cycle will not fill that tub or trough. By right we should have a pipe on it and peg it out that side, but we don't. But anyways, also if you're wondering what milk replacer we're using Volac Olympian. We've always used Volac, and every time we went away from it we ended up going back to it, and we'd get on ferocious well with it. There's also, we have all these Iminu Pro grade on them, Buhi Rate, Beauty Rate and fatty acid supplement, so there are extra things that are in it this year, so hopefully that makes a good difference to the calves. So anyways, we come out here now. The red box on the side is for reading the tag, so we can see there this calf here has an EID tag. So on his left ear there, you might be able to see it's kind of a big round bit, that's the EID, so it's an electronic identification tag. So it transmits to this then goes to that, and then it knows what calf's in the feeder, and then when the calf is ready to feed, when it knows what calf is in and it knows whether the calf needs to be fed or not, it gets fed. So it comes in, it goes into the glass bowl. The glass bowl is about 200 ml if I remember rightly, and it's a case of it pumps in. If one of the calves feeds, I might show you, but it'll pump in, it'll fill that up, and then it turns off the feed, and then the calf can suck it out, and when the float drops then it fills itself up again, and it does it. And I'll just put in a calf and show you. It's just the easiest way of doing it. But We'll just push out this calf. Out you go. Go on, go on. Let someone else in. Go on. Come on, who wants to be fed? Come on. Come on. Will I feed him? No. Oh no, it is feeding them now. So now, you can see there. Now it's mixing now at the minute, so it's not going to feed the calf while it's mixing. That's one of the downsides. When you have 4 calves in the stations feeding, a litre doesn't go very far, so it doesn't. But anyways, it just keeps filling and emptying that and records how much the calf has drank then. And if the calf walks out of the feeder without emptying that and a different calf walks in, it'll empty that, so it'll take it back out of it, back into the mixing bowl, and you're ready to feed the next calf. So that if a calf did bully his way in on top of that calf, he won't be able to get it. Also, if that's the right way around, I do, yeah. No, it's not too bad with the freezing, but with the jerseys, if 2 jerseys was to push the way in and it read 2 tags, it won't feed anything. If it was to push down the calf and it read the tag, it won't feed. It's very smart that way. So each one of them now. You can see there, this is a calf with a button tag. You can just see the cable tie and the button on the back of it. So the button is just an electronic tag, and I have to correlate in the book. I have to correlate the electronic EID button tag number to the calf's number, so I can put on that, so then I know which calf number, as in is 81490. So I know which calf is which. Whereas with the EID tags, this guy, he's an EID tag. All he has to do when we register him is he walks in, it'll automatically register him to the feeder, put him on at day 0, and he's ready to go. Also, if you're wondering why do some of the calves only have 1 tag, that's because the farmer bought them off, tagged the EID tag in the wrong ear, and the feeders will not read it. If the calf's tag is on this ear, it won't read. This won't be able to read it, and then you can't put a button tag on it, on the calf, and leave the other EID tag in that here, because it starts misfiring, because the odd time it'll read this one and then it gets all confused and flustered with itself. So the easiest thing to do is just transfer the tag over to the other ear and order new tags. It's just an unfortunate thing. That is really it. Also, one other thing, when the calves are registered onto the feeder first, they're put on day 0, and it gives them 5 training days. And what the training days are is, if a new calf, so the calves in that pen, come into the feeder to feed, it'll prioritize feeding that calf over the older calves, for the purpose of getting that calf trained into coming in and having to wait for his milk. That's the sole purpose of it. So 5 training days. I can change that on the feeder. Anyways, just on our feeder layout, so you can see there we have 3 stations that way to go that way to the end of the shed, and 1 station this way that goes that way. And the purpose of this, as you can see there, is we can swing around that gate, we throw in another little gate there, and all new calves that come in go into this pen to be trained onto this. And these calves here, I think of the 6 of them, we had 2 of them had fed this morning, so I had to feed 4 of them. And when they get to the stage where they're all feeding, I open up the gates, let them back out. Unless we have another new load of calves coming, then I have to let them out and put the new ones in. It's just for the sole purpose of keeping them in a relatively tight space with 1 station to themselves, so they get used to coming in and out themselves. Just also, I'll show you this real good calf here now that come in last night. That lad there, he's a very, very fine calf. I might just get him. Just on his breeding, he's an Angus out of a Fleckvie cow. If you don't know what a Fleckvie is, a Fleckvie is the Simmental, milking version of a Simmental. So it's a bit like how the Shorthorn has a dairy side and a beef side. The Fleckvie is the dairy side of the Simmental, and it puts great, absolutely huge shape into the calves. We actually have some calves from last year that were Frisian cross Fleckvies, and they are fantastic calves. So we might show you them at another time, but he's a lovely calf. Great broad back, broad shoulders. There's quite a good Angus bull used on them. There's just 2 other Anguses there, and they're nice nice broad back. Very nice, so they are very nice. Anyways, just on some of the other things with this shed. This shed is probably one of the best layouts that we have. There's a slope in the floor, goes right down to the bottom, and that helps drain away a lot of the piss and stuff and gets it out of the shed. Very important for calf health that you're able to get rid of all the liquid that they create, because when you think of it, there's quite a lot of calves taking quite a lot of pisses in there. And there's also one of the downsides too, because this is all sloped down that way, is these feeders, while washing doesn't create any water coming out, there does be quite a lot of dribble and drool, and they tend to do a lot of piss in there, and by right that should either flow out, or there should be a little tank under them just to collect that and stop it flowing back into the bedding. Not just ideal, but this is by far the better shed. It's a very nice close shed. It's very easy to control the temperature in the shed. Not that it's very accurate for us, but we can stack up bales. As we clear the shed, we'll stack up bales on the outside. If it gets warm, we can take top bales down, let in more air to keep it a bit cooler, and if it gets cold, we can fill it up with straw, and it does a great job. It does a great job. So one of my next jobs I have to do is clear out another bay and put in another chicane, as we call it, for the calves. Just we're starting to fill up with calves, as you've seen. There are quite a few calves there now. I want to clear another bay, just give them more space. It's all about giving the calves more space and giving them lots of places to lie. And that's one I'll just show you this. I think I might be making this video a bit too long in the tooth. So you can see now we have a chicane here, and then we go around, and it gives the calves lots of little places. They lie again the straw. If the wind changes direction, they're able to lie somewhere else. It's one of the biggest benefits of having a big pen with lots of space, putting in the few bales as windbreakers. It gives them lots of little sheltery spots, and the calves absolutely love it. It's a huge job compared to putting calves into pens where you have a pen of 6 and they're literally in maybe a 10-foot square or 12-foot square area. They can't do a lot if the wind changes direction. They only have the one spot to lie. But in a big pen like this, in a nice big shed, when you put in the few little obstacles, it just gives them a huge amount of comfort. So it does a huge amount. So we gotta get the rest of them cleared and get that back. And if some of you don't remember from last year, when we eventually get this shed full of straw or on full capacity, the calves will have out there as well as all the way down there. We'll clear all of it down there first, because as it is, it's nice and handy. The calves kind of corner themselves. This is one of the other things with the feeders. When the calves kind of walk into a corner where all the stations are, it leaves it quite very easy for them to get in on the feeding. Whereas if we clear that, it's not so much a corner, and you end up with calves that don't use it that well. It's all about trying to avoid pets. This shed with very few pets. You always end up with these lads that will walk around you the whole time. It takes quite a while before they stop following you around, till they just can't be bothered following you anymore when they get well used to the feeder. What other things we do with the feeder, just before I finish up, is we don't have the bag of lime here with us at the minute. You've seen it in the other video, but we'll throw in a bag of lime there, and we'll keep all them stations limed down. It'll help dry up any of the old slobber and piss that's coming out of them, and it helps keep it disinfected. We'll clean out the bedding maybe 2 or 3 times a year. The reason we don't clean it out anymore is because to clean it out, all them calves have to be put somewhere, and generally speaking you have to close them out in the yard outside, and it's just not over ideal to just peg all the calves out of the shed and let them sit there for an hour while you go about cleaning out the shed. So we don't clean it out too often. Keep lime down, keep nice fresh bedding down. Probably do it, throwing in a bit more bedding there. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it. I think I have it fairly well covered on how this machine works. If there's any questions or anything you think I may have forgot to say, please hit me down in the comments down below. I'll get back to you eventually. I'm not exactly the quickest person to get back to people. But yeah, that's the calves. We have a lot more calves to get before we're finished. A lot more milk replacer to use before we're finished either. But yeah, no, that's them. That's the suckies. That's how the feeder works. So I'll be hoping now in this season and with videos that I'll be covering other things. I'll be covering the maintenance and calibration of the feeder when we're doing the servicing of the pipes. We have the pipe work got. It's just a matter of getting a wet, well, when I say a wet day, we're getting lots of them at the minute, but not over busy that we can't do that job, because I'd say it'll take half a day anyways. And also we'll do a few videos on sort of calf health and vaccinations and tagging and all of them things that we do with the calves. And also, I know I didn't name the 4 calves today. I just haven't really got a chance to sit down and put together all the suggestions in the last video. So if you have any more suggestions, hit me down in the comments down below, and hopefully the next time I'm in this shed making a video, me and my girlfriend will pick out the names that we think are best suited to the calves. We might also name a few more based on some of the suggestions, because there's quite a few there at the minute. But anyways, I'm going to stop ranting and raving and leave it at that. So as always, leave a comment down below if you have anything you want me to ask me. Also check out the description, my merch store, my Amazon store, all of that is down there. Just go down, check it out. You never know what you might find. Definitely my new merch, well worth checking out. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed this video. That is it from me. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Good luck.